Top Indian IT firms are the most exposed to failed U.S. banks, and China is cutting its banks' liquidity requirements. You're watching The Daily Brief with Forbes. I'm Ramia Faraj. Top Indian IT firms Tata Consultancy Services and Infosys have the highest exposure to American banks that are gripped by financial turmoil. JP Morgan says regional banks in the U.S. account for 2 to 3% of their revenue. It says exposure to the recently collapsed Silicon Valley Bank could be 10 to 20 basis points for Tata, Infosys, and smaller rival LTIMindtree, with the Tata Group company in the lead. JP Morgan says they may need to set aside provisions in Q4 due to their exposure. European banks are in extremely solid shape, and their situation is not similar to that of some U.S. lenders. That's according to France's central bank. The failure of 2 U.S. lenders has raised fears of contagion in the wider sector. But officials say European banks are not in the same situation as certain American banks because they're not subject to the same rules. Europe follows the Basel III rules, which were created after the 2008 financial crisis to ensure that banks have adequate capital and liquidity. China's central bank will cut the amount of cash that banks must hold as reserves for the first time this year to help keep liquidity ample and support a nascent economic recovery. Chinese leaders have pledged to step up support for the economy, which is gradually rebounding from the pandemic-induced slump. The move came earlier than financial markets had anticipated. It comes after data showed a gradual but uneven recovery. Asian shares rose today as rescue measures helped ease investor worries about global banking turmoil, ending the turbulent week with a marginal gain. Japan's Nikkei closed 1.2% higher. Hong Kong's Hang Seng advanced 1.6%. The Shanghai Composite gained 0.73%. South Korea's benchmark Kospi also closed up 0.75%, rebounding from a more than 2-month low hit earlier in the week. Hong Kong listed shares in China's Baidu rebounded 15.7% today as users told of their experiences with the Ernie bot. Baidu recouped yesterday's losses after the chatbot failed to impress at its launch. But later in the day, users tested the Chinese chatbot and compared it with Microsoft's Bing chatbot, which is powered by ChatGPT. One tech blogger said there's a definite gap between Ernie bot and Bing. But in response to certain questions, Ernie performed even better than Bing. Meanwhile, Baidu has won a permit to provide a fully driverless ride-hailing service in Beijing. With the permit, Baidu's Apollo service will deploy 10 fully autonomous vehicles in a technology park developed by the government. Baidu will now operate driverless robo-taxi services in 3 Chinese cities, including Wuhan and Chongqing. Let's take a look now at today's Forbes Real-Time Billionaires ranking. It tracks the daily ups and downs of the world's richest people. Our biggest winner today is LVMH's Bernard Arnault, up $5.8 billion with net wealth of $206.8 billion. Our second biggest winner is Jeff Bezos, up $3.8 billion with net wealth of $123.1 billion. And our third place winner is Google's Larry Page, up $3.4 billion with net wealth of $86.9 billion. Check out our website and our social media for all of the latest Billionaires news. And UAE consumers are shopping till they drop. Masjid Al Futtaim's State of the UAE Retail Economy Q4 report reveals overall consumer spending was up 19% in 2022 compared to the previous year. There was a notable 13% growth in spending across the retail economy for the full year, including leisure and entertainment with 29% growth, fashion with 25% growth, and hypermarkets and supermarkets with 11% growth. This increase was driven by the rise in international visitors to the UAE, which more than doubled to 14 million in 2022. I'm Ramia Faraj. This is The Daily Brief. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.